Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Enthusiast podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Randacht, joined by
Ashton McConnell.
And back from his absence once again, the barn door has been opened.
Lucas McGee. Glad to be back, guys. Very glad to be back.
How was your excursion yesterday, or last week, excuse me?
It was good. Very clear. It formed some clarity for me.
That's good.
I'm starting to think that I got the picks ready for this week. I'm predicting a 3-0 again this week.
Bold prediction out of Lucas McGee, but he's been proving it lately. It's episode 8 you'll be listening to right now. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at The Sports Enthusiasts, at Twitter at SportsENTPod. Give us a follow on there. Be sure to share this podcast with everybody you know. Your grandmother would love it. I say it every week. If you guys haven't shown your grandmothers, what are you doing? Lucas, you've shown your grandma, right?
Yes, I have.
Ashton, you've shown yours. Whoa, we don't have a true supporter over there. But
yeah, definitely send it to that weird cousin in California that sits in his basement all the time.
Especially you have that weird cousin has a couple million followers on Instagram, and then you tell the weird cousin to promote it. That'd be a great idea.
Definitely talk to the weird cousin.
Yeah.
He's probably not that weird.
Talk to Mr. Weird Cousin. Okay, moving on. Lucas does have a bit time restricted today, so he might be leaving at the end of the episode, so let's get right into it.
Alrighty, I'm gonna kick it back at you, Aaron. Give me the stat leaders.
Sounds good. In passing yards right now, we have Phillip Rivers, just over 2,600, Tom Brady at just over 2,500, and Russell Wilson just behind him at 2,505. Average gain per pass attempt, Patrick Mahomes is first at 905, and then Kirk Cousins is second at 876. Dak Prescott close behind him at 872. Touchdowns, Russell Wilson with 22 touchdowns, leading the league. Matthew Stafford second with 19, and Deshaun Watson third with 18. And then in interceptions, this is the stat that you don't want to be leading in. Baker with 12, Jameis with 12, and Sam Darnold with 9. Not good. And let's get over to the receiving leaders now. If it loads for me, sorry about that. In receptions, we have Michael Thomas leading the league with 73, followed by DeAndre Hopkins with 68 and Julian Edelman with 63. Catch percentage, James Conner and Jalen Samuels are top two at 93% and 92%, followed by Austin Eckler at 91%. In receiving touchdowns, Mike Evans, Kenny Galladay are tied with 7 at the top. And then we have a bunch of players tied at 6 that I'm not going to read. And in receiving yards, Michael Thomas leading the league at 875. Mike Evans at 842. Cooper Kupp at 792. It's interesting to see Cooper Kupp over there, especially with the bye week. And rushing leaders, Dalvin Cook is first with 894. McCaffrey second with 881. Fournette third with 831. And in touchdowns, it goes McCaffrey with 10, Cook with 9, Aaron Jones with 8.
Thank you, Aaron.
No problem.
Well, boys, you know the drill. It's time to talk our power rankings.
Ooh, this is the fun stuff.
Ooh. Mr. Ashton, who's your number 10?
Vikings.
Okay. I think that's a little. I'll think it's a little low, but I respect it.
Because took a tough loss to the Chiefs, and it turns out Andy Reid's a great coach. Matt Moore balled out once again. And interesting stat about Kirk Cousins. Playing indoors this year, he's 5-0 and his stats are unbelievable. Playing outdoors this year, he's 1-3 and his stats plummet. I don't know if that's that big of a deal, but it's quite interesting.
A lot of quarterbacks, have that. There's a reason why Drew Brees has the stats that he does, right? Because he plays in Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
That's why, but that's why I said it might not be that big of a deal. And I watched that game. The O-line didn't help Kirk Cousins at all. Kirk did miss some wide open throws.
He had 2 or 3 really bad throws, but that's really all I can say.
Yeah, but otherwise the O-line didn't do a whole lot, and what kind of sparked the game for the Chiefs was that big run by Damian Williams. Mm-hmm. That was basically it. But I think the Vikings can bounce back easily. Yeah,
Kirk didn't throw a pick, which is really nice to see. You don't like to turn the ball over as a quarterback. Do you want to go for your 10?
Sure.
Okay.
My 10 is going to be the Chiefs.
I think that's a little low, but
I understand that Matt Moore's done good, but you got to remember there's still going to be an adjustment period when Mahomes gets back because that's how it is. Because Mahomes was gone for 2 weeks. There's going to be a weird adjustment period. I'll pick them to lose that week. I'll move them back up in a few weeks. It's just right now they're the number 10 team for me.
Okay. My number 10 team is the Texans. They've kind of been in and out of my top 10. I just think Deshaun Watson's the man, and DeAndre Hopkins is mentioned him in the reception leaders. It sucks that J.J. Watt's out for the year, but I just think they're a solid team.
Now on to number 9, I have the Carolina Panthers. Now the thing about Cam Newton not coming back, unless they make the playoffs, it doesn't seem like Cam Newton's coming back anymore.
Yeah, he's
gonna
not
have
for the
to
year.
trust Kyle, and I don't know how that will go, but it seems like they'll just play around McCaffrey. He has been electric this year.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, the defense hasn't been that bad either, and Ron Rivera has been doing a good job coaching that team as well, but mainly it's been McCaffrey kind of carrying that team. So
My number 9 is the same as his. It'll be not the same as his. It's Texans.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm everywhere right now.
Yeah, you are.
Aaron's messing with his phone. He got me thinking there's something big going on. Sorry about that. I like the Texans defense a lot this year, and Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson combo has surprised me so far this year. Watson's a good player. I got him at 9.
I actually hate the Texans' defense this year. I just think their offense is carrying them. That's a different topic for a different day.
I just think that they're doing a good job pressuring.
True. My number 9 team is the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if you guys would have them in your top 10. I just think that when you look at their team overall, you have one of the best offensive lines in the league. You could argue the best running back in the league. I know you guys would probably disagree with that. You have, I think, a solid quarterback in Dak Prescott. He's not amazing, but I think he's serviceable. Amari Cooper on the outside, Michael Gallup. You have probably a top 3 corner in the league of Byron Jones. Excuse me. And then DeMarcus Lawrence rushing the passer. So I think their team overall is just worthy of a top 10 spot.
all right, on to number 8. I have the Seattle Seahawks. Their defense looked very suspect against the Bucs. But once again, Russell Wilson carries that team like normal and led them to an overtime win. That's all I have to say.
Number 8, I got Aaron's Vikings.
Okay.
I do like what they're doing so far this year, but I hate Cousins, so they can't be a top 5 team. Sorry.
Okay. I don't respect that, but I guess I'll have to. I agree with Ashton. I have the Seahawks at 8. Not much to be said. Russell Wilson's having a top MVP type of year, and it's been very impressive so far.
Number 7, I have the Texans. Deshaun Watson, like Russell Wilson, is carrying that team as well. Their defense also is kind of suspect, but I trust them a little bit more than the Seahawks. So yeah, and their running attack is pretty good, and their receiving threat is a lot better than Seattle's. So that's why they're number 7.
Seattle just picked up Josh Gordon. Which
That
will be
is
fun to
true.
watch.
And they had Tyler Lockett, who's having a
And
great year.
DK, who's having a great year as well.
True.
Next up, I got my Bills. I've
At
been all
7?
over them all year, and
Oh, no.
their record leaves them up there. I know
I
you do mine.
respect
I
it.
do mine in the kind of gap of record. I don't really pull teams up and down just because record determines a lot, but not everything, because sometimes people play light matchups. I like that they turned to Singletary more, and I think that's going to lead them far. It's not going to get them to anything near a Super Bowl, but they can be up here. They can have their fun.
Okay. Cool. I don't really have anything to add. Josh Allen's fun to watch. Singletary's the man. My number 7 team is the Green Bay Packers. I didn't like their loss on Sunday. It just didn't look good from a whole perspective. I don't think the Chargers have a home field advantage very much, so it's kind of not good to lose to them. In San Diego, the first time this happened, I said San Diego. That's going to happen more, don't worry. In LA, but yeah. Packers are 7, but they could easily jump up if they have a good performance in the coming weeks.
Yeah, with that loss, that's why they're my number 6 team, because our defense was not that great, but I mean, they were on the field for how much time? Our offense couldn't get anything going, and we didn't run the ball at all, which I don't know why. Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams are great dual threat, and then Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram just got to Aaron Rodgers so quick. It was quite frustrating, but that's why number 16.
My number 6 team is the Seahawks. I'm all over these wideouts. I like Lockett. I like DK, and I like the signing of Gordon. Russell Wilson's having a great year.
Yep.
That's all I really need to say.
Yeah, my number 16 is my number 6 team, is my Minnesota Vikings. Rough loss on Sunday, so that's why they're not higher, obviously. Lost on a game-winning kick, a 91-yard touchdown. Those things just, I don't know. It seems more of like a random type of thing, those games that you shouldn't lose. But, yeah, I think they can bounce back against the Cowboys.
My number 5 team, Lucas isn't high on them. I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Because assuming they get Patty Mahomes back, they'll be even better than Matt Moore. Not saying Matt Moore's washed up, which he kind of is.
Washed up.
But,
you can say it. It's okay.
Yeah, but he's not bad. And mainly that's because of Andy Reid. He is such
I'll
a
say
great
this.
coach.
Some of the throws Matt Moore had on Sunday were pretty impressive. He had one where he was like on his one foot with, I forget who it was. It might have been Everson Griffin draped all over him. Made his dime to, I believe, Tyreek Hill. Those are some impressive throws.
And that defense, it looked like it actually wanted to play Sunday. Not what you say really for a Chiefs defense, but it looked like they were very prepared against that Vikings run attack, pass attack, whatever. They were very prepared to take on the Vikings. So.
Yeah, and that D-line that I've been talking about, they do have a really good D-line. It showed up against the Vikings on Sunday.
Next up, I have the Baltimore Ravens. Low, I'm aware.
Very low.
Oh.
But they're also still only 6-2. Wait for some of these other 2-loss teams to lose, and I'll bump them back up. As you know, I do it mostly by record.
Okay.
I know they have They lost 2 games to good teams. I'm aware.
Well, lost to the Browns.
Yeah.
Was it the Browns? Damn.
It was the Browns and somebody else.
Yeah.
But
And
ever
the
since
Chiefs. The Chiefs with Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's where I was thinking. I didn't know it was the Browns. But the Browns probably had a good game once. I don't know. I didn't get to watch that game.
They did.
Probably was in a barn or something. I don't know.
Yeah, my
Sure.
number. Wait, did
No,
you?
I'm
did you have something
passing
to
it to you.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. My number 5 team is the Chiefs as well. Not much to be said. Once Patrick Mahomes comes back, they'll be higher.
Okay, number 4, I have the Patriots, and what I will say, like the Packers defense, Patriots defense, good with the pass, terrible with the run. We saw that against Baltimore Sunday night. Gave up 37 points. Lamar and Mark Ingram, that dual threat just attacked, and that defense was able to force a big turnover. That was kind of basically the momentum changer of the game. Marlon Humphrey returning that for a touchdown. So, and Tom Brady didn't really look that comfortable against all those DBs kind of blitzing. And John Harbaugh, he's an underrated coach. Him against Bill Belichick, I think he has the best record, probably, or one of the best
It would
against Bill
make sense if
Belichick.
he did, because he went to that Super Bowl with against Colin Kaepernick and his brother.
Yeah, I think last year, whatever, there was a chance he could get fired, which I was kind of shocked by, but now he's proving why he's one of the great coaches in the league right now.
Yeah, and I really think that the key to beating the Patriots, it's a lot easier said than done. It's to get an early lead and to force turnovers. You could say that against most teams, but a lot of teams you can come back on, by throwing the ball very aggressively down the field. But against the Patriots, you have to be able to establish the run early and often with a lead. And if you get Tom Brady to turn the ball over, then that just supplements that tremendously.
Next up, I got the Packers. I'm so big on Aaron Jones that it makes me move him this high. I think that, honestly, if they would have given the ball to Aaron Jones more, they would have won that game.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all I really got.
Yeah, because I think we ran it like a total of 11 times on Sunday. Not going to help confuse the defense a lot.
Yeah, I think that was kind of poor game planning from Matt LaFleur, because he knows that the Chargers are going to run a lot more DBs out there than most teams. So I think that if you establish the run with Aaron Jones, especially against maybe a smaller D-line, then I think that would really help out to start off the game. My number 4 team, I know I'm still low on them. It's the Niners.
You got to be kidding.
Come on.
They're not better than the 3 teams above them. I would if they're playing head-to-head, I'm taking these 3 teams against the Niners. That's really all I got to say.
Okay. Well, my 3rd team is the team that beat the 4th team, the Baltimore Ravens. I went on a rant about the Patriots, but ever since they lost 2 straight, the Ravens went back to the playbook. You know what we're going to do? Run, run, run. And that's basically what they've done to get to this 4-game win streak. And Lamar Jackson looking like an MVP caliber player. My bad.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Number 3, I have the Saints. I'm huge on the Saints because obviously if they're doing good, it makes the Panthers look a little better. I'm huge on the Saints, and I've been over them for a while, but I don't think they're better than the top 2 that I have here.
Yeah, my number 3 team is also the Saints. They're really close to moving down here just because I don't think the Drew Brees start is smart. I don't think it's a smart idea to have him start. I think Teddy Bridgewater, he's a more mobile quarterback. He has a stronger arm, even though he doesn't have an amazing arm, but it's stronger than Drew Brees's, and he's shown that he can be a very accurate passer this year as well. I just feel like he's the better quarterback for that team. So I feel like that was kind of a bad decision on Sean Payton's part, but I also get it. If you bench Drew Brees, then you're going to get fired probably. There's probably
I don't know if they'd fire Sean Payton.
No.
Well, you're going to get a lot of hate from your fans, especially when you lose a game. The second you lose a game, Teddy Bridgewater's his head's going to come off.
Yeah, that's.
So you kind of I don't blame Sean Payton for that. I don't blame Sean Payton for that at all.
And I thought it was a bad idea starting Breeze, but you know what? His first game back, he played well, so they're my number 2 team. I feel like Drew Brees, obviously, he's been there mostly his whole career. Fans love him. Brought him to Super Bowl. Obviously, he's got that experience, especially when it comes to the playoffs. I know the difference with Teddy and Drew. Teddy, he only has played in 1 playoff game. He hasn't played in like a Super Bowl or a conference championship.
True.
So having that experience in all those pressure moments, say it comes down to one play, who needs to get a touchdown, Drew Brees could be that guy. And it seems like Alvin Kamara is finally going to be healthy. That's going to help out my fantasy team and also the Saints in general. So that's why I'm my number 2 team.
I got the Patriots. I'm not all over them like Aaron. You guys know that. They have a good defense, but they kind of crumbled against the Ravens, in my opinion. I know you can say that it was not a crumbling, but it did look like that team just fell apart.
Mm-hmm. I want you guys to skip me.
Skip.
Just do it.
I know why. Just go Ashton. He's trying to play it out a stupid way, and it kind of pisses me off. But we'll pass it. Ashton, who's your number 1?
I mean, they're the only undefeated team left in the league right now, the Niners. How they can do it all. If Jimmy G can play like he did against the Cardinals, even though it's the Cardinals, then yeah, they can be an elite team.
Looks like Darius Geis is going to get activated very soon because Redskins just released running back Craig Reynolds. So it says here that the Redskins released running back Craig Reynolds today, paving the way for Darius Geis to be activated to the 53-man roster coming out of the bye. So that'll be fun to watch. Finally something interesting. For the Redskins this year.
Another player added to that dumpster fire.
I really like Darius Geis though. I think he's.
I just picked him up in fantasy in a trade because I was like, my team sucks anyway. Let's try something new.
There you go.
And I traded LaShawn McCoy for him, so that was an amazing trade on my part.
True.
My number 1 team is also the 49ers. We know how big I am on the 49ers.
Yep.
I love the running backs. Jimmy G shoots his shots, I guess, is one way to say it. He can.
There's some irony in that as well.
Porn star Jimmy.
He's not playing bad, which surprises me. Not playing the best, but he's not bad right now. I thought he was going to be kind of bad coming off the knee injury.
Yeah.
Kind of was, but now he's starting to play more like Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got.
And I have a tie at number 1. Sorry about that. I know ties are not in football, but it's a power ranking, not an actual game. I have the Ravens and the Pats. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to be said. We saw the game. But, yeah, they're my tie at number 1 this week. Should be fun to see the rest of the season.
All right, let's move on to our top 3 MVP candidates.
This will be a fun one. I might ruffle some feathers.
There might be some punches, some nuts thrown. We'll see what happens.
Some hugs.
Maybe some hugs.
Yeah, if you guys agree with my top 3, I'll hug you. Because I highly doubt that'll happen.
All right, Ashton.
You want me to go
Who's your number 3?
Number 3, I mean, right now, Lamar Jackson, I mean, both running and passing, he's been so effective. He's kind of powerlifting that Ravens team that if he's not playing well, then that offense isn't going to function well. I mean, he can just do it all. His defenses, you don't know how you can prepare for this guy. So
Deshaun Watson, number 3.
Whoa.
Yep.
I'm betting on him. I think he's doing a lot for this Houston team, and he's setting up the other 2 running backs well because you always have to be concerned when you're going against Watson.
Yep.
Because he's a smart play caller. He's good. He can adjust very well, and he's at 3.
Give me a hug, Ashton.
It's Aaron Rodgers.
No, it's Lamar Jackson.
Oh, dang.
Because we agreed. The hugs have been given out. He's an electric player. There's nothing much to be said.
I'm going to go ahead and say my number 1 and 2 because I don't really care who you choose. Both of
So
them
this is a tie.
I would say it's a tie, even though you can't really. I don't. For me, I have Russell Wilson number 2 and McCaffrey number 1.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be mad if you put one or the other because both of them, if you don't have them on your team, then what is their team? They're just big pieces to their team. McCaffrey just does it all, receiving and rushing. Russell Wilson just makes everybody around him better. That's all I have to say, really.
Ashton, would you mind giving me a handshake click? I also do have at number 2 Russell Wilson and number 1 McCaffrey.
Okay.
Since apparently we're doing 2 and 1 together because they're pretty much the same number.
They're pretty close together.
You could say that. Maybe a few decimals in there.
Well, realistically, there's infinite numbers in between 1 and 2.
You are not wrong.
I know.
Don't try and math. Which one of us are in the AP class? Let's get
I will be too. You're just a year older than me.
Point proven. So I got Russell Wilson. He's playing out of his mind, if I'm being honest. After last year, I really thought that it was the start of a decline for him, and now I look like an idiot.
True. I mean, that's not hard to do.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Number 1, I have McCaffrey. It helps I'm a Carolina fan, and I need to embrace the only reason we have the record we have, and that is Christian McCaffrey. He is playing on a whole new level this year. I will come out and say it now that I was unhappy with that pick when he was drafted, because when he was drafted, I really saw a lack of work ethic out of him, and that was wrong. And I'm okay with that. I was very young when he got drafted.
Okay.
But now I can say that McCaffrey, I finally enjoy you. Shout out the podcast, please.
Yeah. The really concern with McCaffrey for me when he was drafted was just, can he run between the tackles? Because he was obviously a great receiver in college. He was a great off-tackle runner. But he's proven that he can pound it in there with the best of them. I also have Russell Wilson at 2. And I do not have McCaffrey at 1. I have Aaron Rodgers at 1.
Well, no.
Because
The Green Bay fan says no. How does that make you feel?
I just think that without Aaron Rodgers, the Packers suck, is what I'm saying. I think without Russell Wilson, the Seahawks suck less. Without McCaffrey, the Panthers suck less. There's 2 lesses there. That's just really my cup of tea right there. Most valuable player to me. What value does this player add to his team? And if you take him off of this team, what will happen? And if you take Aaron Rodgers off of the Packers, they will be more diminished than the Seahawks without Russell Wilson or the Panthers without Christian McCaffrey. That is my argument.
But looking at stats, though, we weren't talking about Rodgers in the MVP race until his games against the Raiders and Chiefs. I mean, after those 2 games, yeah, his name got brought in, but last week he was shut down.
Well, this isn't a last week award, though. This is a season award.
Yeah, and Russ.
And I think Aaron Rodgers this season has been the most valuable player in the NFL.
This is funny to me that you guys are arguing because the Aaron Rodgers fan isn't on Aaron Rodgers'
He's a Packer.
side.
He's the whole team.
That's what I meant to say, but I was feeling lazy. Thanks. All right. We're skipping on to the next topic. Let's talk about our team's games this week.
Okay.
Ashton, let's hear about the Packers game. What do you got to say? Keep it quick.
Oh, we pretty much talked about it in power rankings. Like I said, we didn't run it enough. O-line wasn't helping at all, and our defense was on the field way too much, and yeah.
Panthers game, beat the Titans. Kyle Allen was mediocre. Be cool if I had Cam Newton back, but that's whatever. McCaffrey's looking really good. I'm pretty much just saying things on repeat to get it into your guys' head because there's not much different. Hey, this could be news. I like the Carolina receiving core. Oh, wait, I've said that before.
So do I.
I mean, this Carolina team doesn't have a lot of show-stopping talent outside of McCaffrey. But they just put...
DJ Moore's got some talent.
He's got talent, but he's not a showstopper.
Okay.
And they're a team that plays well together, that enjoys each other.
Yeah.
Aaron.
I mean, the Vikings games, I've kind of talked about it before. Dalvin Cook only had 3.4 yards per carry. Thielen re-aggravated his hammy at the first quarter. That really sucked. That could have cost us the game potentially. Kirk played slightly below average. I think his passer rating was like a 94, but I don't put all much stock into that. And Harrison Butker is just a clutch MF'er.
Alrighty. We're going to skip a couple things here because, of course, I have to take off and probably fix the barn. Who knows? I won't comment.
You broke the barn too?
I had to get out somehow.
Fair.
All right, we're going to skip right over to some NBA storylines. Steph's injury, 3 months. What do you guys know?
I don't think the Warriors are in very good shape right now. D'Angelo Russell and Draymond are going to have to carry that team.
Draymond's hurt for a while.
Well, yeah, he'll be back, but he'll be back before 3 months.
That's true. I think that Golden State's best path would be to lose out, essentially. Sorry to be that guy.
Lose out.
And go for a center in the draft. Stewart comes to mind. Wiseman.
Yeah, James Wiseman from Memphis seems to be the top guy there.
But just to fill that center gap, and then they're looking at a team that's pretty good coming into next year. But what I also see happening is this Warriors team trying to go for it all and essentially screwing themselves over because D'Lo's good, and he could carry you to about 28 wins by himself, I should say. Then you're going to get Curry back in 3 months, and he's going to carry you to about 14 more wins, and then you're sitting at a 40-40 record, and you screwed yourself over successfully. The Charlotte Hornets way.
Yeah, that is the Charlotte Hornets way. I don't know what they're going to do with D'Lo because there's been plenty of rumors about
him
Minnesota
trading to the Timberwolves.
Yeah, it's really been a big rumor this year, but I don't know. It depends on what the Teals would have to give up. Obviously, it'd be a fair. Fair shake.
I could see if it was maybe a pick and an expiring contract.
It would have to be multiple picks
and an expiring contract.
Get Gorgie out of there. Get Teague out of there. Oh, I would love that.
Gorgie's not going to go just because he's not an expiring deal.
Well, no,
but
yeah, I know, but I'm saying
out.
like because if we want to get rid of these guys,
I think that I could see Teague in 2 picks maybe.
But D'Lo's not at that point in his career where he's traded for an expiring contract. You know what I'm saying?
I think that the Warriors might, knowing they can attract great talent this summer. Great talent. I mean,
this year's free agency class is pretty bad though.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you look a year before this and said the same, you could have said the same thing about this coming year's class.
No, you couldn't have.
Before all these signings, though, because if you were sitting in the driver's seat last year, looking ahead to the year that we're about to go into, no one knew about Pascal Siakam. No one knew about half these young guys that.
Yeah, but everyone knew about Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving.
It's not. I'm not saying it's elite. I'm saying that there's going to be a guy that breaks out that they're going to pay a crap ton of money to.
Well, yeah, there's going to be guys that get max deals. I'm just saying it's a bad year for free agents.
And I don't think the Warriors are going to care. I think they're going to buy in. Who knows?
Yeah.
Only time will tell. Ashton, anything?
An option with the Warriors, if they do tank, say they do get the first pick. There's a guy overseas named LaMelo Ball that's catching eye of many players. Maybe.
Why in the world would they draft LaMelo Ball?
No.
Well, he could play small forward.
No. Listen. Listen. They could try and trade that pick for a good big man. That's what could be a very interesting option.
I don't know who wants to buy in by giving up a good big man because it's getting hard to find those. This is a horrible draft class for bigs other than Wiseman and Stewart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have much to add there.
We'll skip over to the next topic that I want to talk about. The Cavs re-extending their GM. Do we really think the Cavs are on the right path currently?
Yes and no. I think Garland and Sexton are two really good players. I'm still wondering if they can play together, but if they can figure it out, I think they'll be a dangerous duo. I don't know what they're doing with Kevin Love.
Eventually, I think they'll trade him.
Well,
When
they
he's
should.
38, when he's 38 and drawing life insurance, I think they'll trade him.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with him. They mishandled that situation.
They mishandled trading for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
He was on the
sucked in
downhill
the
spiral.
He sucked in the finals. They could have won that finals with Wiggins
Yeah,
easily.
Wiggins
I think they would have been
is such a good
better.
scorer.
Well, yeah, and he's a way better defender. He's faster. He's longer. He's.
I think some of that trade was to get rid of Bennett, though.
Yeah.
Because he had that first pick.
Wasn't it straight up? Wasn't it straight up? No, there had to be cap. Never mind.
I think it was Bennett in there too.
It was. No, Bennett eventually ended up on the T-Wolves, but I
thought
think
it was
a
that trade. Who knows?
I'll fact check
Everyone
this
knows.
very quick.
Well then,
Keep
you
talking.
got any comments, Ash?
All I know is the Cavs, ever since LeBron left, I don't know how they're going to figure it out. I don't know.
I like the path they're going right now, but they're missing some gaps. I think they're getting a little too guard heavy right now.
And
Yeah.
the thing that's hard for Cleveland, it's Cleveland. Like, they're not the biggest city.
They're not the biggest market. They're not
Yeah.
bringing in the most. I hear you.
It was Wiggins, Bennett, Thad Young, and a $6.3 million trade exception. So you guys were right.
But I think that was more of the trade was getting rid of that annoying because they didn't want to keep Bennett on contract.
Well,
that
and they
long.
also LeBron wanted Kevin Love. That's what it
And
was.
then LeBron screwed Cleveland. Good job, Bron. Good
He
job.
won him a title.
Yeah, and then he set them up for the worst downhill spiral since the Hornets happened.
I'd be fine with the title right now. I'll be honest.
All right, let's skip over to our spread picks. Ashton, let's hear them.
All right, so Chiefs are -3.5 at the Titans this week. I am taking the Chiefs. Titans are a mess. The Ravens are -10 at the Bengals. I'm going to take the Ravens, even though when I took the Ravens at home, they disappointed me. And then the Vikings at the Cowboys. Cowboys are -3. I'm going to take the Cowboys, but I feel like whoever wins this game will win by a touchdown. It's not going to be like a field goal or whatever. So, but I'm taking the Cowboys.
I'm just going to go over the records quick because we haven't mentioned those. I went 0-3 last week, unfortunately, so that brings me to 5-4 on the year. Ashton went 2-1, that makes him 6-3 on the year. And Lucas, another 3-0 week, impressive out of him, 8-1 on the year. And my spread picks, I'm taking the Rams -3.5 against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I'm taking the Colts -10.5 at home against the Dolphins, and I'm taking the Chiefs -3.5 in Tennessee.
My first one is the Cardinals at New Orleans, -10.5. I'm going to pick for the Cardinals, not to win, but I don't think the Saints win by 10.5. I like what the Saints are doing this year, but I also think the Cardinals are playing well right now.
It's Atlanta. They're playing.
Yeah, it's Atlanta.
Why does it?
You're on the wrong week, pal. The spread's similar. I'll tell you the spread.
This is sad.
Yeah, that is. It's
My
-12.5.
data was crappy.
Saints are -12.5 against Atlanta.
I'm going to take. Yeah, I'm still going to take New Orleans or Atlanta because I don't think New Orleans will win by that much. For my next one, I'm going to go with Baltimore winning or covering their spread over the Bengals. It's 9.5. The Bengals blow. The Ravens are good. I think that game's going to be a blowout. And for my last one, I'm going to go right back to Arizona against Tampa Bay, -4.5. I'm going to take Arizona.
Okay.
Sorry about being on the wrong week. It's been a rough week.
Yeah, we could tell. Is that all we're gonna have for your time, Lucas?
Yeah, it is. I do apologize. I have to get going.
Alrighty. Adios.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Good having you.
We're back now that Lucas is gone. We're gonna head over and just do our playoff predictions. Pretty much a mid-season playoff predictions. It sucks that Lucas couldn't be here for this because it would be interesting to hear his thoughts on it. But me and Ashton are just gonna get it done with us two. Ashton, you can start it off.
Okay, I'll start in the AFC. At the 1 seed, I'm going to have the Ravens, and I think their schedule is a little bit easier than my number 2 seed, the Patriots. I feel like the Ravens will barely have a better record than the Patriots, like one more win, it'll be that close, but I feel those will be the 2 teams that will get the bye, which seems about right. Number 3 seed, my bad, is the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like the loss of Patrick Mahomes kind of hurt them losing a game. You can't really afford to lose a game, and kind of those 2 losses they took early on in the year, even with Patty. But I think they've kind of gotten in the right direction. Excuse me. And the defense seems like it's actually came to play now later in the year.
Yep.
My number 4 seed is the Houston Texans. I feel like that they're going to be battling with the Colts a little bit. Their division's not necessarily the easiest to deal with. I think the worst team is the Titans, and they're not the worst team. It's not like the Patriots with the Dolphins and the Jets, but I think the Texans will win that division.
Actually, yeah, if we're talking about,
seed.
if I'm going to jump in here in that division, I have everybody 8-8 or higher in that division, so it's going to be very close and highly contested.
And now for the wild card teams, my 5th seed, I think it'll be the Colts. Like I said, them and the Texans will be battling for that seed. But I'm a little worried if Brissett's hurt. I don't trust that team. But as long as he's healthy, I'm fine having faith in the Colts. And number 6, I have the Raiders. I feel like they're not bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Their draft picks haven't been that bad, especially Josh Jacobs. He looks like he's a leading candidate of Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. John Gruden has done a really good job coaching and getting these guys prepared week in, week out. So that's my 6 seeds for the AFC.
Okay, I actually had the Raiders kind of dropping off at the end of the year, going 5-11.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. So I did my full record for every team. So my number 1 seed in the AFC is going to be the Patriots at 14-2. I think they're going to do that good. My number 2 seed is going to be the Chiefs at 13-3. I think they go undefeated in their division. My number 3 seed is going to be the Ravens, also at 13-3, but they will lose that game to the Browns in the division. My 4 seed is going to be the Texans at 10-6, 4-2 in the division. My 5 seed is actually going to be the Bills, going 11-5, 4-2 in the division. Their 2 losses to the Patriots. And my 6th seed is going to be the Indianapolis Colts at 9-7, just barely sneaking in, going 3-3 in the division. And the guys that are just out, I have the Chargers at 8-8, and the Jags at 8-8, and the Titans at 8-8, and the Browns at 8-8 actually.
Now with the NFC, it's kind of hard with the NFC now because there's so many good teams that you could put in. You don't want to leave a certain team out.
A lot of tiebreakers were kind of needed to be had here for the NFC for me.
All right, so for my 1st seed, I have the Saints. I feel like their division's not as strong as the 2nd-seeded 49ers because the Niners, I think, still have to play the Rams again and Seattle twice, which will be a little bit tricky for them. But the Saints, they don't really have too much. I guess Carolina, but otherwise, I think the Saints should be able to hold the 1 spot. 3 seed, I think the Packers will take it. They have a few games they should win, but there is still some questionable games that will be tricky for them. And the 4 seed, Cowboys, I think, will win the division. And, yeah, their division's not that strong at all. They're 5-3 right now. I don't think they're going to win 8 straight or whatever the amount. Yeah. And now on to the wild card. My 5 seed, I have the Seahawks. They're right behind the Niners going for the division spot, but I think they're just going to fall short and take that 5th spot. And 6th spot, it was hard. There were 3 teams: Panthers, Vikings, and Rams. And I chose the Rams because
I don't know about that one.
It was tough pick, but can I trust Kirk Cousins to get it done late in the season?
Yes.
And thinking about divisions, the Rams division is pretty tough to deal with. And like I said, Panthers division isn't that hard to deal with the Falcons and the Bucks. They're not that great, inconsistent. But I won't be mad if you have the Vikings or Rams. It's a tough choice. There's so many good teams.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go over mine. It's probably going to be controversial, but I have my reasons behind all these. My number 1 seed, Saints, 12-4, 4-2 in the division. My 2 seed, Vikings, 12-4, 4-2 in the division. My 3 seed will be the Cowboys, 11-5, 5-1 in the division. My 4 seed will be the Rams, 11-5, 4-2 in the division. My 5 seed will be the Niners, 11-5, 4-2 in the division. The reasoning behind this is because right now it's week 10? Mm-hmm. They play Seattle on a Monday night. I think they'll win that. They have Arizona at home, which is an easy game. Then they have the Packers at home when the Packers are on extra rest. They have the Ravens in Baltimore. They have the Saints in New Orleans. They have the Falcons, who I think is a scary team. They have the Rams and the Seahawks again. That's a tough schedule. I think they'll lose 5 of those games. And my 6th seed, I have the Packers at 11-5, 4-2 in the division. Teams that missed the cut, I have the Seahawks going 10-6, not making it. I have the Eagles going 10-6, not making it. Panthers going 9-7, and the Bears going 7-9. I have no 8-8 teams in the NFC.
I mean, you can't really because the conference is so stacked.
It's such a good conference. It's so deep. There's 10 teams that can make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Do you have your full playoff predictions, or what do y'all got? Just tell me what you got.
I just have the seedings. That's basically all I got right now.
Who's your Super Bowl?
As of right now, I'm gonna go with the Saints, honestly, versus Baltimore, the top seeds in the conference. I mean, I think John Harbaugh's figured out a way to beat Bill Belichick. You've seen it multiple times in past years, and I think it's finally the Saints' year after what happened last year. So.
Okay. And then you have the Saints winning over the Ravens? Or who do you have winning?
Ooh. I think I'm going to give it to Lamar Jackson because I don't know if the Saints will really be able to figure out, like the rest of the league, pretty much how to stop Lamar Jackson. They've gone back to script, run, and they're kind of expanding the playbook with new play designs with how to use Lamar Jackson, make defenses question him a lot more.
Yeah. I'll just go through I picked every game because I'm a tryhard. Texans-Bills in that 4-5 matchup in the AFC, I have the Texans taking that. And the Colts-Ravens in that 6-3 matchup, I have the Ravens taking that. I'm just going through Wild Card Weekend. Packers 6-3, Cowboys, I have the Packers taking it. And then Rams in the 4-5 matchup, I have winning against the Niners. And then Patriots-Texans, I have the Patriots taking that one easy. And then Chiefs-Ravens, I think this will be potentially the best game of the playoffs. I have the Ravens just narrowly taking that one. And then in the Saints-Packers 1-6 matchup, I have the Packers winning and upsetting the Saints. And in the 4-2 matchup between the Vikings and Rams, I have the Vikings winning. So my final 4 here is the Patriots, Ravens, Packers, and Vikings. I have the Patriots beating the Ravens just by a hair. I think the reason they do win this game is because they've already faced Lamar Jackson. They get a week of film on him. I think that'll be huge. Then Packers, Vikings, I have the Vikings. Yes, I'm biased. I do not care. I think that, truthfully, though, it can really happen, and I think that this is what will happen. So Patriots, Vikings in the Super Bowl, and then I have the Patriots beating the Vikings. So, yeah, that's my playoff predictions. I think they're both realistic.
And I'm pretty sure Lucas's playoff predictions, he had the Redskins and Dolphins somehow making the playoffs.
Yeah, he had the Redskins in the Super Bowl against, I think against the Bucs. It might have been. So, yeah, I think we can roll with those playoff predictions.
Redskins and Bucs are in the same conference.
No, they're not. Oh, yeah, they are. I forgot the Redskins were in the NFC. Redskins and Dolphins in the Super Bowl. My apologies. Why did I think the Redskins were in the AFC? Those happen.
They're washed up anyways.
True. There's no reason to watch those games. Now we're going to move on to fantasy football. I guess if you want, you can give a recap of your fantasy team this week. Otherwise, you can just go into your start sits and waivers.
I think I went 1-2 this week in my leagues. I was very upset with the Packers game because I had Aaron Jones, and I was upset with the Niners-Cardinals game. I had Tevin Coleman, both of them combined for under 10 points. That's not going to help, and the person I was facing had the Steelers defense. Yeah, and I had the Browns defense, which I said to start, and I'm sorry if you started them. They sucked, so...
Yeah, don't take Ashton's fantasy advice. No, take it. There's a reason why we're having the podcast. Yeah, I guess I'll just go over mine quickly. I went 3-1, but in the league that I lost was my most important league and the league I needed to win in. On Monday night, I had Dak Prescott, and the person I was going against had Saquon, Michael Gallup, and Golden Tate. I was up by 10, and I ended up losing by 5.4 points. It's a stinger, but it happens. You got to live with it. Go on to your starts with waivers.
For my start, I have Marquise Brown. I mean, the Bengals defense is garbage, so I feel like they can open up the pass a lot, and he should have a good game. We'll see. My sit, I have Stephon Diggs just because it's a Sunday night game, and the Cowboys are kind of going to be keeping an eye on him with Thielen being out, and they're going to probably have to rely on their tight ends a lot. You saw that against the Chiefs. Then for my pickup, it's pretty obvious. There could be another one. He's in the AFC, but as far as an NFC player, I would say Josh Gordon, just picked up by the Seahawks, should be very valuable to that offense.
Two things. One, I think Stephon Diggs will have a pretty bad game against Byron Jones. I've mentioned before how good I think he is. He's one of the best corners in football, especially with Adam Thielen out after re-aggravating his hamstring. Yeah, Diggs will probably get shut down. And about your Josh Gordon thing, I would disagree with that because I think coming in middle of the season with especially two great receivers already there, I don't know if he'll add as much fantasy value as some might think, but I could be completely wrong. That's why it's your starts, it's waivers, not mine. My start this week is Lucas's man, Devin Singletary. I figured I'd throw it in just for him. My sit this week isn't necessarily a must sit, like you have to sit him, but if you have some other reliable options on your bench, I think you should sit Joe Mixon. That's kind of the situation I'm in right now. I have Jalen Samuels, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, and David Montgomery. And Austin Eckler. That's my running back situation right now. So right now, Joe Mixon would be the last out of those guys for me. And then my waiver this week is actually Ronald Jones. The reason I say that is because Bruce Arians came out and said that we need to focus on him. He's been really showing out in games and in practice, and he's just moved past Peyton Barber on the depth chart. And I think that Ronald Jones could throw you some fantasy value this week. He might not be, he's obviously not an RB1, but I think he could provide some good RB2 value.
And I'm just going to throw out the other pickup option I had. I noticed him in one of my leagues. AJ Green, he is on the verge of.
Oh yeah, if AJ Green's not rostered, he should be.
Yeah, it just caught my mind because in one of my leagues I saw him on the waivers, so I'm going to try and pick him up. Don't know if I'll get him, but we'll see.
Okay, now on to a more interesting topic. We don't do these very often, but we probably should. We're going to be doing a draft in the MLB with the MLB season concluding and the Nationals winning the World Series. We're going to do a draft of the best players in baseball and go position by position, basically. You can move players around if you think they can play there. And yeah, so we're just going to do it like that.
Yeah, and this is kind of how we'll end this podcast. And we'll do this once in a while with whether it's NBA or NFL, But it's kind of just a fun thing to do. We'll throw out some other fun topics once in a while as well. But for today, we'll do the MLB drafts.
Yeah, and so we're going to use Siri to determine this. Ashton, you want heads or tails?
Tails.
Hey Siri, flip a coin.
It's tails.
All
Tails
right,
number fails.
You get first pick.
Great words of Randy Moss.
And by the way, this is completely off the top of our heads. We can do research while we're doing this, but we haven't done any prior research to it. We're just going whatever we can think of, and we can obviously look things up if we need to.
Mike Trout.
Cheater. You're cheating. I will take... Are we assuming everyone's healthy? Because Mike Trout's... Okay.
Yes.
I will take... By the way, this is just starting lineup for now. We might do pitchers. I will take Christian Yelich.
I will take Cody Bellinger, and he will play right field.
Okay. I will take... This is a really tough one for me. I'm going to take Anthony Rendon, and I'm going to play him at second base.
Interesting. That means I'll take Alex Bregman at third base.
Okay, I will... Now this is where it gets really difficult for me, because I don't know where I want to go. I will take... see, this is tough. I don't want to create too much downtime here, but if I'm going to... I'll take Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts.
And play him somewhere in the outfield.
I will take Freddie Freeman.
Ooh, good pick. Ooh. I'm going to take... I'm going to take Nolan Arenado.
Well, okay.
And we're doing a DH as well.
Okay, so I got 2 outfielders. Second base, let's go with Jose Altuve.
Ooh, good pick, good pick. I'm going to take... Just trying to run through the teams in my head quickly. I can't really think right now. I'll take Nelson Cruz as a DH.
Okay. I need. I'll take Jorge Polanco.
I'm going to take Xander Bogaerts and play him at short.
So let's see. We've got 6 picks done. We got 3 left. I got my DH, another outfielder, and my catcher.
Just throwing out some names. You got guys like Gary Sanchez, Mitch Garver, catcher.
Yep, I know.
There's really a lot of options in the outfield. Springer's one of them for the Astros. Juan Soto.
We're gonna take Pete Alonso for my DH.
Ooh, good pick, good pick. I'm gonna take Juan Soto and play him in left, and then I'll end up playing Betts in center.
And I am making a roster change. We're gonna move Cody Bellinger to left and take Aaron Judge in right field.
Ooh, he's a great defender out there as well. I'm gonna take Mitch Garver behind the plate simply because if he faces a lefty, he will mash the baseball.
And that leaves me to take Gary Sanchez at catcher.
Yeah, so I have a first baseman left to pick. This is where it gets really tough for me because first base has been a little bit more weak this year. I'm actually going to take DJ LeMahieu and play him at first. So, just a recap of our teams. I'll say mine quickly. At first base, I have DJ LeMahieu. Catching, I have Mitch Garver. Second base, I have Anthony Rendon. Shortstop, I have Xander Bogaerts from the Red Sox. Third base, I have Nolan Arenado. In the outfield, I have Christian Yelich, Mookie Betts, and Juan Soto.
For my team, DHing, I have Pete Alonso. Catching, I have Gary Sanchez. First base, Freddie Freeman. Second base, Jose Altuve. Shortstop, Jorge Polanco. Third base, Alex Bregman. Left field, Cody Bellinger. Right field, Aaron Judge. And center field, Mike Trout.
Yeah, so let us know who you think won in this draft. We could put a graphic up on Instagram potentially, if I remember. Once this podcast gets up, I don't know would you like to do a rotation one, or it's completely up to you.
I guess we can.
Yeah,
Completely fill out the team.
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's do heads or tails again. What would you like?
Tails.
Hey Siri, flip a coin.
It's tails.
All right, you get first pick again.
Ooh, there's something.
This is a really tough one.
We're gonna go with Garrett Cole.
That's who I would have taken. That's a really good one. I'm gonna take Jacob deGrom.
Oh. Give me Max Scherzer.
Verlander.
Strasburg.
Ooh. Bueller.
Ooh.
This is where it gets difficult because we both have kind of the top 6 pitchers in the league, I think, pretty much undoubtedly. With Scherzer, deGrom, Verlander, Bueller, and Garrett Cole, and Strasburg.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because you got to think of elite type pitching, but
Yeah, you got guys like Hyun-Jin Ryu from the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw, Shane Bieber, Jose Barrios, potentially James Paxton, Masahiro Tanaka, Noah Syndergaard, Zach Greinke, Lance Lynn, Mike Minor, Mike Fiers, Robbie Ray.
yeah, we're gonna go with Shane Bieber.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to take Hyun-Jin Ryu and get a lefty in there.
You're gonna take him. Okay. lefty.
It's tough because there's not very many good lefty starting pitchers for some reason. The southpaw's kind of gone by the wayside. But Ryu obviously had a great year. You got guys like Charlie Morton, Blake Snell in Tampa Bay. If you think Blake Snell could have a bounce back year, you might want to take him, lefty. Just thinking of naming off some guys. Patrick Corbin, another guy that you could think of.
There's Chris Sale as well.
Yep, David Price.
I'm going to take Chris Sale.
Ooh, good pick. I'm going to take Charlie Morton to round out my rotation.
Okay. So here is my pitching rotation. I have Garrett Cole, Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, Shane Bieber, and Chris Sale.
I have DeGrom, Verlander, Walker Buehler, Hyun-Jin Ryu, and Charlie Morton. 2 really good rotations, obviously. Let us know who you think won that one. I obviously think I did, but, that's debatable.
And as far as the overall team, let us know who you think has the better team and who would win in a head-to-head matchup.
Yep, for sure. I think that'll be a really interesting thing that we could start doing. Maybe some fun stuff on Instagram. Maybe get a poll going even on Twitter if you would like to follow us over there.
And we could even do this for NBA and NFL too. There's just so many ideas you can do with these type of things.
Yeah, just whatever fun stuff you guys would like to see us do. I mean, we'll be very flexible with whatever you guys want to see. And yeah, there's not much to add, I guess. Anything?
No, if just comment what you want. You can always DM us about anything that you really think would be awesome.
Yep. Shout out to Nathan Martinic. I saw you've commented on a couple of podcasts, so we're watching. Yeah. So that's been it, guys. It's been a great podcast. We'll be back next week, and yeah, have a good one.
Yep.